Hello everyone, welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. If this is your first time here, welcome. First time you've ever clicked on a video, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, welcome also. Welcome one and all. Very quick announcement. I have started going back to my first love, which I always do in and around this time of year. So I am posting a lot of writing and blog posts on my Instagram. So if you're not following me there, this would be a really good time to do that, because there's a lot of great tips on manifesting and magic. And of course we have Pickacard reading. So I'm going to link that down below. If you are not following me there, it would be a wonderful place for you to get some extra support beyond Unicorn Light Tarot. Now, obviously writing is my first love, but you know, coming in a close second, of course, is reading for you guys. And today we are going to do a pick a card reading, and it is a pick a moon card reading. What magic is about to manifest in your life, about to manifest for you. So this is obviously a general reading, but it is a timeless reading, although the full moon in Pisces will be coming in tomorrow, so it is inspired by the full moon. However, it is a timeless reading. So as always, we have three piles, or in this case, three moon cards. And the first moon card says prosperity lies ahead. That is your first card. Your second card says sovereignty. And your third card says step out of your comfort zone. So there are a myriad of different reasons why you may choose one of the cards. It could be obviously the message or the wording, but it could be the purple or the images. However you choose your card is, of course, a very personal choice. It's completely up to you. So as always, if you need to, the more aligned you are with your own soul and of course your own heart and your own intuition, the more these readings will resonate for you in some way. And if the first pile or the first card doesn't quite resonate, then feel free to choose another one. If you're here, chances are there are messages for you. That's usually how it works. So if you need to go ahead and pause the video and just come back to you for a little bit, the timestamps will be down below as always. And for those of you who are still with us, let's take a nice deep breath. Hold for a second and release what no longer serves you. All of your energy going into your first, second, and third chakra, grounding you in to you. Absolutely and totally you. Now, just being in the present moment, you're of course welcome to pick up whatever you need to pick up in that was already in your head after these readings, but we can stay present just for the next 10, 15, 20 minutes, as long as however long your reading is. So let's get right into them. We're going to put pile 2 and pile 3 aside for now. So if you chose pile 1, or card 1, your moon card, prosperity lies ahead, so new moon in Taurus. So there's some energy here coming in for prosperity lies ahead with a new way of doing things, a new perception, a tweak in how you are perceiving things. Not a whole sort of throwing out of things and starting again, but just a little tweak of how you see things and grounding into your own energy, putting your own energy first will make sure that this prosperity and this magic comes in for you. So this is the magic that you're manifesting. So for a lot of you, it's something that you have already laid some seeds for, and this is a general reading obviously, so it'll be very different for each and every one of you. But for some of you, it's, so what I'm feeling is, or what I'm being shown is, that whatever it is that you've asked for, that in itself isn't really probably going to manifest in that way. Something greater and slightly different will. But because you've sowed the seeds for what it is that you've wanted, it's allowing for this other thing to come in. But whatever is coming in is going to be far greater. And for most of you, you could not have perceived it. And it's, you know, for some of you, it's, you know, you've laid the seeds and you're figuring out what the next step is, and you're figuring out what could happen and this, that, and the other. And not that you're trying to stay one step ahead of the universe by any stretch of the imagination, but you are trying to figure out how this could come in, you know, almost sort of playing a game of it. I wonder what's going to happen now. Will this happen? Will this happen? Will this happen? And we can tell you whatever it is that's coming in will be a complete surprise, and you could not have seen it coming in, but it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful surprise. So let's get you some more information here about the specifics of it, and perhaps when you can see this manifesting. And we are also going to have a couple of these cards come in too. So yeah, keep getting the message that even though you've laid all the groundwork, expect magic. And when we say magic, expect the unexpected, because that is magical. And it's not that you're trying to control by any stretch of the imagination. If anything, you know, your inner child is trying to get one step ahead just because they're excited. You're excited about what's happening. You can feel things are moving. Nothing's quite solidified yet as such, but it's more of an inquiry moving forward. It's not sort of a out of alignment and trying to control everything kind of energy, but at the same time you're not going to be able to figure it out. It's going to be peace coming in, and then you have go for your dreams, and then claim your art. Wonderful. So whatever groundwork you have laid moving forward is going to be the solid foundation from which this manifestation is going to come in, and it will be absolutely magical. So and it will be, again, it'll be a little bit divergent, but at the same time from what it is that you started off from, what it is that you thought you wanted. However, you've understood very recently that, you know, whatever you've put energy into that you want to manifest is absolutely the energy that you want in your life, but it may not be your exact goal. You are now open to whatever it is the universe can. It's almost like, all right, I'm playing this hand. Let's see what the universe can give me. And you are doing the work so the universe can step up in this really beautiful way and be able to and give you a lot more than you were really expecting. So for some of you, the opportunities coming in might be a little grander than you were expecting, because even though you are ready for something bigger, there is still a part of you that's wired for, all right, we do this step, we'll move in this step, we'll move in this step, we'll move in this step. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a very practical way of seeing things. However, you are set up, your energy is set up and aligned for whatever it is that you want. So for some of you, you might be actually skipping a couple of those steps and moving into something that you weren't expecting to happen so quickly. But, you know, you wouldn't be given it if you were not capable of it. It's just that your mind's saying that you need to earn your dues and do this, that, and the other. But actually you don't. That's a programming that we have. You know, you have to do this, you have to do that. And it takes so long to get to here and to get to there. And you've been doing the work all seemingly sort of on your own and behind closed doors. So, you know, people on the outside might be saying, oh, how did this person come in and all of a sudden they have this success and this, that, and the other? But actually you've been doing the work. You've just been doing it a little bit differently. And that's kind of how you work anyway. So for some of you, get ready for something big, but at the same time, don't try and guess what it is. But of course, it's to do with whatever art you're doing, whatever it is that you've set this firm foundation on. But it's gonna diverge in a certain way that's going to be really, really wonderful for you. So allowing that peace, allowing that knowledge. Now, for some of you who are having a little, for want of a better term, freak out, because you're willing to do this. You're absolutely willing to do this. You're willing to take the leap, but at the same time, your practical mind is pulling you back a little bit. You know, this bill needs to be paid. This needs to, what if we do this, that, you know, this may not, you know, we need to be taking care of business. We need to do that. All perfectly reasonable and understandable that you would be feeling this. We want you to have faith at the same time that everything is going to work out. But we also want to support you in exactly where you are. Everything is working out for you. The universe will give you what you need as you move forward. Step into that peace and keep concentrating on what it is that you want. And again, it doesn't need to be specific. It can be concentrate on what it feels like when you are given that sort of that leg up, or when you're given that opportunity. How does it feel? Concentrate on what it feels like to be in abundance constantly. Now, this is something that you have trained your mind to do. You're able to do this now. So when your practical mind goes in and has a little freak out and a little doubt, that's all part of the process. Don't pull yourself into it, and don't be hard on yourself. Oh my goodness, I'm going down this road now. Perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. All you need to do is acknowledge that, yep, I'm feeling a little doubt right now. It's all part of the process. It's totally fine. And we often feel a lot of doubt just before something big happens. So don't you worry. Remember, going for your dreams is what you're here to do in this lifetime. You are not here to have that sort of 9-to-5 job and do whatever. And if that's what you're doing, that's part of it. That's perfectly fine too. You can turn whatever you're doing into a 9-to-5 job. When you work for yourself, sometimes it can be tough because you're working 24/7. No, absolutely. So we're talking about the manufactured 9-to-5 job, the job, not the career, something that you don't want to do in order to pay the bills so you can do what you want to do. You're here to shift that. You're here to do exactly what you're supposed to do. Your blueprint's been activated. You're ready to do this. So let's get you some more information. So this is coming in, but again, it's going to feel so different when it does, and it's going to than what you thought it was going to be, but it's still going to be incredible. And it's feeling within 3 or 4 months. So for most of you, in and around coming into autumn or winter months. Now something is going to shift in October that's going to bring you closer to it. This is a timeless reading, but if you are clicking on this around the time it is uploaded, then we're giving you this information now. So let's see what we have for you. Yeah, see, I keep seeing a key opening the lock, and the door is actually opening. So this is all happening for you. Wonderful. Claiming your art. Again, we've got the Sun card underneath this. That means keep staying in the energy of what you really want to do. Your practical mind will pull you back every now and again and say, but we need to do this and we need to do that. This is your time to move forward with faith and know that it's going to work out. Now, little things will happen for you on the way to the big opportunities to, again, look after you as the universe kind of supports you as you're moving forward. All you need to do is really lean in to the understanding that this is what you're here to do, and that your timing is absolutely impeccable here. So we've got the 4 of Cups going for go for your dreams. So again, you're being held in support. You're absolutely being held in support. Don't you worry about that, you gorgeous, gorgeous being. So all you need to do is focus on exactly what it is that you want and know that it will be delivered. Now, sometimes, you know, when we say go for your dreams, it can seem kind of big. You know, what I want is kind of big, and in the interim, I need to be doing this. So again, there are many, many tips to bring it back so you stay in the moment. And remember, return to the understanding of claiming your art. That's where your psyche will be. If you're like, going for my dreams is kind of big right now, maybe I should just settle, or maybe I should do this. Remember, click back into, remember we said at the beginning, switching or just tweaking with your perception, claiming your art. I claim my art. This is what I'm here to do. So it's all about working with your practical mind. I talked about this in the recent blog that I just uploaded on my Instagram. It's all about working with your practical mind. Your practical mind is set up not for joy, but it's there to set up to be practical and to protect you and to keep you safe. So sometimes we have to, for want of a better term, trick our minds just a little bit so we can stay on the affluent path, because sometimes it wants to keep you a little small. So going for your dreams can seem a little big sometimes. So it'll pull you out of that. And then again, drop down into, but I'm claiming my art. This is what I'm supposed to do. And not only that, you've been working on this stuff. You've been working on it. So you're good at what you do. You're ready to be out there. The timing is impeccable. So just click into that perception, and then it brings this big sort of going for the dreams, which is absolutely huge, and it makes it more manageable in your practical mind. It keeps you in that peaceful state, keeps you exactly where you need to be in that present moment, and in that present moment you are manifesting exactly what you need with the universe in small increments. All right, I need this for this right now. The universe will provide it in sometimes in kind of a strange way, but this is a magical reading, so magic is abound. King of Wands, absolutely. The prosperity lies ahead. Now you've got this new energy coming in. You've got this passionate energy coming in. You're ready to do this, and you're ready to risk. Now, it seems like a risk at the time. As you're moving forward, it absolutely does, because you're doing something, and you're handling your business differently than you ever did. You're willing to not just put your toe into the water or your foot into the water. You're willing to go all in, and that's when the results come in. Now, it's again, the practical mind will try to come in, but you have that passion with the sun coming in, with this Leo energy. It's also masculine energy. You've got that divine masculine energy, which is telling us that you are absolutely ready to move forward. And not only that, you have a plan to move forward. You know what you're doing. Now, that plan might deviate and it might shift, but within those baby steps, it will lead you to something else that will be solid. You're not moving forward on sort of quicksand here. You have this solid movement, this solid foundation. So remind yourself when you're having those doubts, I have this solid foundation. Now, for some of you, it really is creativity. For some of you, it's moving forward. You've got a writing project. For some of you, it's putting yourself out there, starting that YouTube channel, or picking up that YouTube channel that you started and making it a business. For whatever it is, it's taking what you know and everything that you've experienced and turning it into knowledge for other people and putting it out there. This is absolutely the time to do that. There's so much spiritual awareness out there, but sometimes we've relied on the sort of old spiritual versions of things, and people are still sort of stuck in the old ways of doing things or the old paradigms, and that's fine. That's perfectly reasonable for them, but we need new blood, new energy stepping up. This is where you can come in and be able to really, really support people. So this is the time to be able to do this. And the way in which you bring your story in, yes, it's absolutely needed. The way your perspective is absolutely needed. It really is, without a shadow of a doubt. And, we can say that everything's saturated by, we have so many people doing this, that, and the other. Well, nobody's doing what you're doing. Nobody's channeling the way that you are. Nobody's saying what you're saying, so trust in yourself. But yes, it's going to take some divine action, some aligned action that comes in with the peaceful clicking in of knowing that you're here to do something bigger and knowing that this is absolutely your time to do it. So Hierophant here, absolutely wonderful energy. I mean, there's an audience for what you do. There's an audience. And for some of you, there might already be an audience for what you do. It's about taking it one step further. And it was always on the cards for you to take one step further. All it needed from you is to actually step into that whole point of responsibility. Now, some of you, we're just giving you a little bit of real talk to give you a little bit of background here to help you out, Pile 1. Some of you have been resisting doing some of this and moving forward because you didn't really want the responsibility of doing that. And let us explain what we mean. It's not that you didn't think that you were good at it, and it's not that you don't think that you want to do this, but if you always want to be open to many different options. So if you solidify and say, this is what I'm doing, X, Y, and Z, I'm doing this, then there's a responsibility to show up for it all the time. Whereas, like, for instance, for a YouTube channel, if you're not doing it for a business, you can show up or you can disappear for a couple of weeks, this, that, and the other. But if you're doing it as a business, you've got to show up. And there's a little bit of fear about being stuck in a box, being stuck in this one thing, doing this one thing. And this comes from many, many different lifetimes of being sort of told who you are, being stuck in a box, wanting to do something, and also feeling as though in order to do it, you have to do something else. So it's about this commitment stake. But you're not worried about committing to doing what you want to do. So come back to the original thought. You're here to do what you want to do. And also, we want to remind you, once you build that firm foundation, yes, it's a business, but you can go off in many different directions. In fact, your business will probably start in a completely new direction, but not not unrelated by any stretch of the imagination, but a little bit of a new direction, and that will give new life to what's going on in your business or moving forward in what you're doing. So that firm foundation means you can go in any different direction. You're not going to be stuck in any kind of box. So don't worry about it. So for those of you, it's just a matter of working with that commitment, working with that responsibility, and making peace with it and stepping in, and everything else is going to make sense. Everything else is going to take off. That door will be open. These opportunities will be coming in. A lot of the opportunities will be coming in from the external to move you forward. So all you need to do is do the baby steps, be in peace, stay in that moment, that divine moment that we're all in, where it's complete and pure. So we're not bringing in the past, we're not thinking about the past. If you're staying in the divine moment, then you know that everything that you're doing in that moment is free to choose in the moment to move forward. So you're moving forward, your future will be free from your past, if that makes any sense. So staying in that moment without the worry of what's going on, but in that moment of trust, will prove and bring you more trust, to bring you more trust, and then bring you more magic and bring you more magic. So the sooner you get used to trusting and being in peace, the better for you. And also for some of you, and not all of you have this, but if some of you are a little bit nervous about the commitment and staying in that one energy, or saying, I think this is what I want to do. I know that I'm good at it, but I don't know if it'll take off. I don't know if it's really what I want to do. So I'm nervous about putting all of my soul into it. Put all of your soul into it anyway. As we said, it's going to provide that really firm foundation for you from which you can live spherically and move in any different direction. So, by making that first step, that is you solidifying your relationship with the universe, which of course is just an extension of you, and moving forward into something brand new. There'll be many choices down the road, Pile 1. You won't be stuck in something that you don't want to do. So let's finish with this. So for many of you, this is a business. And for many of you, this is doing what you want to do, moving forward with those creative projects. Or for some of you, finishing those creative projects and actually getting them out there. But it's next step, next level stuff. So let's see what we have for our making magic. But this magic is coming in for you. And honestly, it's, even within the 3 months, it could be a lot quicker. It's how you align with your energy in that moment. You could bring it in immediately. Because magic can be immediate when you've done all the work. You've done all the work. You've got the passion. You've got the energy. You're aligned with the divine masculine for taking divine action. There's no reason why can't move quicker. So we have the elements. The elements of fire, air, earth, and water combine to create powerful protective boundaries, spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. Here we have it. We have every aspect of all the elements coming together to not only protect you, but to move you forward. This is definitely your aligned time. Any boundaries that you need, you will be protected. So moving forward, this is absolutely it. If you were even in two minds throughout this reading, if this is your time to do this, this is absolutely letting you know everything's coming in together for you to do this. Take that baby step. Even if that baby step is not necessarily what you think you want, you're not really sure of it, take it anyway. It will move you in the direction of where you need to be, but stay in that peace. Remember, trick your brain if it starts going into all of this other stuff of, oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm doing, a go for your dreams, that's too big. Yeah, take it down a notch and say, you know what, I'm claiming my art. That's what I'm here to do. That is it. And you can say to yourself every day, I'm here to claim my art. I'm here to claim who I am. I'm here to do that in the world. And there's no reason why I shouldn't be abundant while doing it. Absolutely not. Successful and abundant. You're here to be a leader. Time to step up. You've already been stepping up. It's time to take it to the next level. So that's what we have for you, Pile 1. Very, very exciting stuff. Could happen immediately, could be a little bit longer. That really is, as always, how you deal with magic, or how you work with your own magic, and how much you believe and trust. That's all up to you, but it's there for you now. So hopefully we've encouraged you and given you a little bit more support to go ahead and trust yourself. So we are sending you support for exactly who you are and where you are in the world right now. Please stay safe and sane, but as we say, not too safe. Stay physically safe, of course, and mentally safe, but get yourself outside of that box and do whatever you need to do. It's time to take some chances here, so not too safe, right? All right, my darlings, take care until we meet again. Bye-bye. Okay, gorgeous pal 2, your reading is pick a moon card reading. This is your moon card that you picked. What magic is about to manifest for you, about to manifest in your life. So you chose sovereignty, Queen of the Moon. I mean, you can't go wrong with that card, right? Sovereignty, coming back into your own. This has been quite a journey for you. The number 41, if you put them together, 5. This has been a journey for you, coming back into yourself, knowing who you are, also accepting boundaries, working with your empathetic, beautiful abilities, ultra sensitive here in pile 2, but also being able to utilize those energies not only to further yourself in a beautiful way, but to also stay true in the world when other people are working with other energies and getting caught up in fear and getting caught up in whatever, because you are so ultra sensitive to all of that feeling and knowing, you are in a very, very firm position to be able to really do that deep-seated work that a lot of people are really confused about how to do that, or they think they're not doing. Again, there's no judgment whatsoever. We're all just doing our best. We really are, without any way, shape, or form. So we will have to hold space for each other, but that doesn't take away from the fact that you're able to do this really, really deep, dark work, and you've done that, and you're coming out of that now with this really, really profound, beautiful knowledge, and it also sets you aside, or sets you apart from the others. Your energy is different to other people. People can trust you. They can trust what you say. You've done the work to really do it, and you've also gone down your own paths of sort of delusion or illusion and all sorts of different things, and you've figured out how to work out of that too. You've done a lot of this work sort of solo in a way, but this is time for you to sort of welcome to the world and rejoin the world. So part of your magic is the fact that you're going to be able to share yourself in this lifetime in a profoundly different way than you ever did before. Let's get some more information though for you. So we're going to start off with these. Dun, dun, dun. I also want a couple of these cards too, so bear with me while we shuffle on camera. I do like to shuffle on camera because then you become part of the magic, right? Especially for this reading. So here we have it. So feeling for some of you, there may be a little bit of doubt coming up for you. It's not old stuff coming up necessarily, but there's a few things that are coming up because you've delved so deep before. It's really what it is that you're sewing up all of the knowledge that you've been through and that you're understanding. So you're sort of going through it and almost sort of filing it away. Not filing it away because, oh, we don't need to see this anymore. Filing it away because you've done the work. So some of this stuff can be coming up. So for some of you, you may be feeling a little melancholy or just sort of weeping, and even in that gratitude of, sort of coming up and weeping and just being really extra sensitive or extra aware of emotions right now. That's all part of the process, and it's actually a beautiful thing. Lean into it if you can. Communication is the key. New moon in Gemini. It does feel as though you are on the next step. What magic is manifesting for you is how you communicate in the world and stepping up in the communication stance. Let's see what else we have. Yep, shine your light and have faith. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. This is you getting all your ducks in a row, but to actually sort of present yourself to the world as the person that you are now, which is going to surprise some people because you're very different to how you were before. You were very different how you were 6 months ago, but particularly how you were like a year ago or 18 months. You're a completely different person. If you look back on that person, there's only slight remnants, really. A lot of people may have left your life in this last year too. Some people you may have had to have cut off, but some people just sort of fell away because you changed so much. And even as they start to try to come in, there's just nothing for them to hold on to anymore because you've changed so much, you've grown so much. So your exterior life as well as your interior life has changed so much. And because there's been so much of it, there's really not been a need to be sort of out, quote unquote, in the world as much as you were before. Or for some of you, you weren't that out in the world, but you definitely were not pushing to be out in the world. Sort of had a nice little hub going and everything was good in that way because there were so many changes. Not that you didn't trust those changes, but you know, everything was moving so quickly and you needed to put your energy first. Now, this is absolutely wonderful. And out of this, you have that sovereignty, right? You have that gorgeousness. Now, we've said this on this channel before. You know, at some point when you do the healing and you've done the inner work, some of that work is best done alone. And some of that work as you move forward is best done out into the world. Sometimes as we do this healing and we chip away at a little bit more and we heal, we chip away a little bit more and we heal, we can get into this wrong stance. And this happens a lot of, oh, I'm not ready. There's still more to do. There's still more to do. There's always going to be more to do one way or another. But you're at this point where you're ready to deliver yourself sort of in this beautiful package with this new communication, and the rest of your beautiful healing will be done in a community, will be done in and around amongst other people. So you're ready to come out and communicate. Now, that's your magic. That magic is manifesting for you, bringing you to the new heights and also communicating in a new way. Now, for the general reading purposes, it will be different for each and every one of you. Because for some of you, it will be moving forward communication with your career. For some of you, it will be changing your career. For some of you, it will be standing your grounds. I don't want this anymore. For some of you, it will be leaving a relationship that doesn't work anymore. It could be a friendship, or it could be a romantic relationship that's just sort of run out of steam. It doesn't work for you anymore. But you will be leveling up in many different ways. Now, for some of you, it'll be 3 or 4 things going on at the same time, but it won't be overwhelming in any way, shape, or form because all of these things have fallen away anyway. It's just a matter of pulling away the debris. That's it. But you're getting ready for something bigger coming in. But communication is your key. Stepping up and speaking your truth is the key. And speaking your truth becomes magical as you do this in a bigger crowd, as you do this to an audience, as you step out there to do that. So moving forward, your magic is moving forward and integrating back into the world in a brand new way. Now, the person that you are solidified in this gorgeous sort of magical, mysterious, beautiful sense of self that you have, shining your light and having faith in that light. Before, you didn't have as much faith in your light. You doubted yourself a lot. And it's not that you didn't think that you were a good person. Some of you may have doubted that. But there was a reason why. You have so much karma and so much past lives, so many past lives, that you held a lot of that sort of echo with you. But in this lifetime, you're here to be an absolutely exceptional person and to shine that light and that truth. And you wouldn't be able to do that to the extent that you'll be doing and the extent that you have been doing, but you're stepping up now, if you hadn't had all of those past lives. And not all of them were great, you know, let's be honest, some of them you were a bollocks, right? But if you didn't know how to do all of that, and you didn't carry that wisdom with you, so you know you would never do that again, then you wouldn't have the wisdom that you have today. You see, you're not easily corrupted. Some people are easily corrupted one way or another, and it's just because they don't have a strong sense of self. There's a myriad of different reasons why they don't. And again, it's unfortunate, but it's neither good nor bad. You know, we have the polarity stance on Earth with this 3D understanding of good and bad, but we give good and bad. We give those licenses, we give those labels. So for you, you had to go through all of that. You had all of those past lives, but you know, there was an echo of you that didn't really trust that you were a good person or that you were the right person to come to in all stages. But you've worked through all of that karma. You've worked through that bloodline. You've done that. You now know that all of that has taken you to this height, and you know what true evil is. You know how that works, and you can intrinsically feel it within you because you've lived it before. Now, you're not here to be that in this lifetime. And that energy and that knowledge actually puts you a step above other people. Not that you're better than anyone else or worse or anything like that, but it gives you a heightened sort of understanding of sort of the good versus evil narrative, especially that we're going through right now. Well, we've always been through it. It seems like it's heightened now, but we've always gone through it. It's heightened so we can release it. And you could be one of those people who help do that. But all of that experience that you went through, it was absolutely and completely necessary. So now that you know that, you can shine your light and have faith in yourself completely and move forward with this. Communication is the key. Absolutely is the key, and you are ready to move forward. And the person that you are is incredible. I mean, you really have shifted. A lot of that fear has lifted from you, and a lot of that fear was really sort of infested and invested in you not being a really good person, or you not deserving what you thought you deserved based on what you've been through and how many past lives you've had where you were a little bit of a bollocks. But again, that was just an echo. You've worked through that. You are here to be, you have that Christ consciousness in this lifetime, and you would not have been able to acquire that Christ consciousness if you did not understand how the dark works. Yeah, you know how the dark works from the inside out from other lifetimes, but so what? You know, we're not all here to be angels in every single lifetime. You know, it's not how it works. And now you know that completely, truly, all the way through every cell of your body. So underneath, have faith. You got the 8 of Pentacles. Again, I love these cards. They're so beautiful. Bringing your knowledge in a new way. Again, the way in which you communicate, you have that understanding of polarity and moving through it. Now, polarity is huge in this world. And it's not necessarily about transitioning away from it, but it's about seeing things a little clearer. And this is something that you have insight on, and this is something that you can communicate. So for you moving forward, this is something that you've been working on. Some of you have been working on some kind of book, but you don't know how to present the information. So the way in which you present the information might shift a little bit. It might be, oh, I wanted to write a book, and now I'm going to write sort of a children's book or a fairy tale for adults with all this information in it, you know, appealing to the inner child. You might be shifting the way in which you package up the information and put it out and integrate it into the world, but it's still there. Everything that you've been working on is still there, and it's ready to be, put out there and taken to the next level. So with shining your light, you have justice. Absolutely. You are here. And this is another thing, because you've been through so much karma and you've seen so much from many different lifetimes. Now, for you, you could probably, not all of you, and not all of you need to do this. So if this doesn't apply to you, I don't want to freak you out, but you actually have a pretty good indication of some of the lifetimes that you've been through, and you could help other people uncover the lifetimes that they've been through too, if this is something that you wanted to do. It would be more on a one-on-one before you start moving into workshop stuff. But this is something you'd be able to healthily guide people through their past lives and support them, releasing all of that negative energy or negative karma or guilt from past lives. Or alternatively too, but at the running parallel, you'll be able to, for people who are a little bit nervous about, they know that they have these really beautiful psychic gifts, but they're a little bit nervous about developing them in this lifetime. There's something that ties them with past lifetimes. You can go in there, support them in past lifetimes, release whatever is holding them back, and then they can develop them in this lifetime. This is something for some of you will be able to do. And this is something that you can do for yourself if you haven't already. For most of you, you'll be able to do that, because a lot of knowledge that you have, especially in the alchemist process, you've acquired from past lives. I mean, this was not your first rodeo. You weren't born into this lifetime and all of a sudden you could just do this, that, and the other. You acquired this knowledge and developed it through different lifetimes. Some of those lifetimes, you may not have used that energy for good, and that's fine. That happened. But that's why you can use it for good in this lifetime, because you know what it's like, and you know you've paid the consequences in that lifetime. So you're also here to support the underdog. You're also here to support people who have not been supported, especially who have grown up in certain situations that have been quite dark for them. You are in a position to be able to help them one-on-one. So a counselor or a soul coach kind of situation going on here. And again, it would be very specific one-on-one based on what that person is coming to you for. You have a myriad of different ways you can work with this and with alchemy, but it's about transitioning one energy, transmuting it into something higher. This is something that you can do. And also your articulation of the actual truth, the universal truth, brings people back into alignment, brings people back into center. Now, not everybody needs to work with you. Some people are aligned with good or aligned with evil. They have this sort of polarity going on, the versus narrative thing. One is against the other, and that's fine. You may not be able to help those folks because they're entrenched in what they believe in, and that's what they want. But there's a whole lot of people that are moving out of that paradigm as we move into what people are calling the new earth. But really, it's already existing. It's existing now. It's just a matter of looking after each other in a completely different way, seeing each other for the very first time. Now, it might seem a little woo-woo, a little hippy-dippy, and it's a shame that we have to say that, because this is bare minimum. This is what we should have been doing the entire time, but we've been programmed from society. All sorts of different things have been going on. But here's the thing. Even though you have a certain amount of programming, everybody does, because we're born into this modern earth. You resisted that program. You saw that programming. It could have been quite painful for you because you were sort of one step out of the world, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? And this could have been a very painful existence for you. But here's the thing. This is where you come in, and this is where your magic comes in. That's absolutely gorgeous. You weren't programmed the way that other people were programmed to the degree. You saw it. And even people who are fighting the system right now, who are standing up for righteousness and this, that, and the other, they're still programmed. They're fighting themselves one way or another. And again, that's everybody's right. But there's still a lot of programming. They're still working within the programming paradigm, right? So you were not programmed. You were not able to be programmed as that much. And even though that hurt at that time because you weren't fully integrated in a way that others may have been fully integrated into the world, so they might have more of a standing, they might be seemingly doing better in the world because they were more integrated into it. They have much more going on in the way of the programming and still needing to release it. You don't need to release it. There's much of what you've released already, but you didn't have to do that to a certain degree. So you can use that to help others sort of deprogram. But again, people need to be ready. They need to be able to see it, not just the reality that they're creating, but universal truth. Coming back to the central universal truth that we are all one and we are all looking after each other. And no matter what is going on in the world, I want to be very clear about this. We've all contributed to it. You know, even if you don't like what somebody's saying or whatever, we're all in the world, and all of our fears, everything that we've been through has contributed to everything that's going on in this world. So it's not that easy to say, oh, I'm better than this, or I don't have this going on, or thank God I'm not like that, or this, that, and the other. We're all actually in the same boat one way or another. We're taking different degrees. We're all going in different directions, and that's everybody's right. But you know, pulling yourself out of this and saying this isn't my shit because everybody else has it wrong is not taking full responsibility for all of the fear, everything that we've come in with, because we've created all of the circumstances by not living in harmony one way or another, every single one of us. So by taking full responsibility and personal responsibility for doing the inner work, that's how we can move forward. You've done this beautifully. You've done this differently, and you've done this the hard way. This was not the easy way to do it, but it's the only way you know how to do it. So now you can take this beautiful energy that you have, articulate it gorgeously, and help people, help the underdog, help people who don't know, who are open to it, but are a little bit fearful, and guide them in the right direction, because a lot of people are getting caught up in the fear, and it's sort of shifting things for them, and it's just a shame to see people sort of living in a little bit of fear here and there, and we don't need to live in fear. You're a sovereign being. Whatever you choose, whoever you are, you're going to be okay. You're protected. It's going to be fine. Lovers, sovereignty, and death, gorgeousness. So This is an ultimate new beginning for you. You've got the new moon in Gemini, so you've got that Gemini energy of the twins, you know, the dichotomy of doing things definitely differently, being out in the world, but wanting to come back to in the world, out of the world, you know, this really da-da kind of energy, and then also needing to sort of pull back and be on your own terms. And this is an opportunity for you to step forward in a brand new way. Everything changes because you're really inviting in this beautiful love, this love energy in your life that's always been there, but it's been encased a little bit in this fear that's been the echo of what you've now transmuted. And again, you can help people transmute that. There is real fear. Fear is its own keeper. That's what I always say. I coined that phrase because it keeps you. Once it's got you, that's it. It keeps you in a cage, and it really, all the delusions come in and around it. It's extremely powerful, and you know what that is. So once you've broken free from it, right, there is a brand new way of doing things. There's a brand new way of seeing things. Everything seems brighter. Food tastes better. You know, everything is completely different. And also the way in which you align with the world and how you bring in energy is almost instantaneous, right? Because you're not blocking yourself anymore. You're not doubting. You're not fearing. You're not. So this is something that you can bring to the world. This is something. Now, you know, how you do this, again, creativity, one-on-one, soul coaching, building a business, even in the business that you're in, it doesn't really matter. This is how you're going to be in the world. And just by being like this in the world activates everything and everyone around you. So for some of you, the lovers will mean either a step up in a relationship that you already have, taking it to the next level. For some of you, that's fertility too. Don't get freaked out if you don't want to get pregnant, and that's not you. But for some of you, it will actually mean that moving forward. For some of you, it will absolutely mean a new person coming in because you're ready. This person will be a person that's worthy of you. You're equal, finally. Well done. And for some of you, this is definitely an indication of coming back to love. Having that and securing that in the first, second chakra, bringing your energy back into your body and solidifying. This is a brand new level of healing for you that once clicked in and activated cannot go back. It's a healing out of fear, and this is something that you can bring to the world, articulate to the world, and teach others how to do it. And again, there's different ways. Again, you could work specifically with people in past lives, in karma, soul contracts, Akashic records are coming up too. Whichever wherever your sovereignty takes you, an amalgam of all of them too. This is something that you can do. For some of you, it could be astrology, but it's about taking apart what no longer works for a person, putting it back together and with the seeding of love, right? And taking that out. So when you infuse love and you take out fear, everything is clear. And then people really understand how things work. It's a lot more simple when love is part of the equation than people are making out. People are making things out to be a lot more complicated than they need to be. And again, that's everybody's decision to be able to do that. But you're all about the simplicity, and you'll be able to bring that simplicity to light, be able to help people. But it's all about communication, building a community, and teaching your story. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, you know, where people say, you know, we have to get away from our story. We have to get away from our narrative and everything. Yeah, sure. You know, there's a really big difference from claiming your narrative and understanding where you came from and transcending it, being able to help other people, than living in that narrative, you know, day to day, constantly, and being held by it. So you're going to be claiming that narrative and moving forward and showing people that, you know, you can come out on the other side of this. So this is a beautiful time for you. This is like an immediate magic coming into your life. So let's see what we have for the making magic. Perseverance, the motivation to keep going despite the odds. Let's pull another one because that's old. You already know that. You've done that. That's your old. You've kept going no matter what, even though you were sort of, it felt like in many ways you were moving against the tide or against the current sometimes when everybody else seemed to be having an easier life. But you did the work along the way. You did the work along the way. And this is what we're seeing now. A lot of people who still need to do a lot of the work, getting confused. So yeah, a lot of the inner work, and then, you know, focusing on the external. You did all that internal work. Star, here we go. The silver energy of the star brings good luck and serendipity. You cannot go wrong with the sovereignty coming into the death and fusing with love in a brand new way, which really dispels out the fear and the darkness and helping others do the same. This is a gorgeous time for you. You've been through many different changes and shifts and activations, but this is a clicking into your blueprint of something that you want to do. Choose what it is that you want to do. Stay in this energy and it will take off. Absolutely guaranteed. And the more you stay in love, pretty much immediately, you've done all the seeds, you're moving forward. Remember, you're staying in the energy of what serves your higher self and what is best for the world. Stay in that energy and the universe delivers the highest results constantly. And for you, it could be immediately. So this is what we have for you, pile 2. Beautiful. We support you for exactly who you are and where you are. Please stay safe and sane. As we say, obviously stay safe, but not too safe. Get outside of that box, challenge yourself out of the comfort zone. This is your time, but stay physically and mentally safe, obviously. Until we meet again, take care. Bye-bye. Okay, beautiful pile 3. We have stepping out of your comfort zone. This is your moon card. You're picking this moon card, what magic is about to manifest for you in your life. Stepping out of your comfort zone with the North Node coming in. So you've got this energy of past life and what it is that you're supposed to do in this lifetime. What it is that you're supposed to bring in from your old lives, and what it is that you're supposed to move through and learn in this lifetime. So stepping out of your comfort zone, you're very used to doing things sort of on your own, hyper independence, this, that, and the other. Your comfort zone will be getting out and integrating back into the world. Now, there's a little bit of a theme of that one way or another, stepping out and shining your light in pile 1 and 2, but very, very different energy. So let's get you some more information. We are going to get one of these cards for you. So this is definitely a timing understanding for you. This is your time. There is a timing element going on with everyone right now for moving into sort of a new perceived energy field to be able to attract what you want quicker. So for some of you, time may feel as though it's speeding up really quickly or meshing together. We had an element of that because of what's going on last year. I feel like everybody was going through that one way or another. And then it sort of reverted back a little bit, and then it started speeding up again. So time, linear time is moving differently for you. It's shifting. It will slow down a little bit, but that's just an indication of your energy picking up and being activated and moving forward. So you have the darkness here and number 40, and then you have think things through and seek hidden treasure. So this is about you coming out of, sort of emerging from the darkness, emerging from your old self and moving through, bringing in these. So there's, for some of you, maybe a lot of you in one way or another, you've been working sort of outside of the box, or you've been working sort of outside of human eyes in one way or another, and really acquiring these gifts. Now, some of you have actually been working in the darkness one way or another, and figuring out how to work in the darkness. Now, some people actually release the darkness and sort of do some deep dark work, but actually some of the work that you do is in the darkness, and you'll be able to bring in that perceived information, that really interesting information. We're often taught, especially in spirituality, to, go into those dark moments and, and find those parts of ourselves that need to be healed. This is something that you've done. But what we don't often talk about, at least not enough, in my opinion, is some of the hidden treasure that's in there too. Those hidden talents that are down in the darkness too, that are a little bit saturated with guilt or shamefulness, a little bit of fear, depending on how you were brought up, or elements that you brought in from past lives. Wondering, if those elements, this happened, I think, in pile 1. I think it was pile 1. If you've used those beautiful traits that you had for not so great purposes in past lives, you could, there could be a little labeling, a little a little fear around you utilizing them in this lifetime, because it's triggering an event, it's triggering sort of a feeling that they weren't used for good in a past life. And to remind you, as we did with Pile 1, yeah, you were bollockses in past lives. Everyone was, we weren't all angels in every single one of our lives, but chosen in this lifetime to step up as an earth angel, and you understand the darkness, the way in which you've used your energy and your powers before. So you are in a absolutely beautiful perceived position in this lifetime to be able to help people manifest into the light through the darkness. So the hidden treasures, you've really gone in to find out aspects of yourself that are growing within you and have really sort of acclimated to your personality and how you perceive yourself. So they've now become a part of yourself. You now think of yourself as this or as that. I am a clairvoyant. I am this. I have this trait. And for some of you, it's a way for you to sort of fuse your identity, and it's going to be important for you to do this. As we've said before, there's a lot of like us coming away from identities. I am free. I don't have labels. I don't. And a lot of people who say that are that they've sort of missed the point a little bit occasionally with that. So it's just, for you, it's good for you to say, I am this, I am that, I am that. You're not bound to it anyway, but to have it fused into your personality is really good. So we would encourage you to actually pull it in, because what you're doing is when you claim it, you're claiming it, you're pulling it into the light, you're fusing it into your personality, and that grounds you into your energy. And when that firm foundation is set, you are ready to get out of your comfort zone. What you were trying to do before, a lot of you, is that you were getting caught up in your head and thinking things through so much. I want to do this the right way. A lot of you are obsessed with doing things the right way. So I don't want the labels. I don't want to claim onto this. I don't want this, that, and the other. And, there's nothing intrinsically wrong with that, but there's a whole process by which this happens. And if you don't claim anything for yourself, then you don't get the chance to transmute it or work through it. And also you're not as grounded as you could be. So, the way in which you've worked with things, you understand that you're coming out of your head and working with your heart a lot more, and really getting and integrating these hidden treasures that you found in the dark, in your own darkness, right? And some of your darkness was pretty dark. I mean, you went pretty deep and you've done this work. And it's all about claiming your authenticity. It's all about claiming who you are. But there was an aspect of you that you were confused about how to do this, because there's a part of you that doesn't want any of this and just wants to be completely free and doesn't want to claim any of it. But if you don't claim anything, then you're just sort of floating. It's just this weird kind of thing. And sometimes spirituality doesn't help with this at all, because it's kind of confusing at certain times. It tells you to do certain things, or non-attachment and this, that, and the other, and how do we really do it, and how do we really work through it. So you actually understood non-attachment so far into non-attachment that you weren't even really attached to who you were or your life in any way. You're coming back to that, and you actually found attachment. Again, it's not really attachment. You're fusing who you are to become authentic through the darkness. So you've done your work through the darkness. You actually probably know fear, probably work through fear. You understand how fear works. This is excellent, beautiful magic. This is the best magic you could bring to the earth, because the one thing that nobody knows how to do right now, a lot of people, as we're seeing everywhere globally, is they don't know how to deal with fear. They're letting it in. It's infiltrating. It's heightening everything, and people have gone a little bit bonkers one way or another, which again is always totally fine, because fear is palpable, and that's what it does. And it's done it to each and every one of us in our lifetime one way or another. So we know how we're doing. We know how it works. And once you're in, you see, that's the thing with fear. Once you're in it, as I say, it's your own keeper. It keeps you there, and it tells you all sorts of things. So for you actually know how fear works. You know how fear works. You've worked within it. It's very, very powerful medicine in this lifetime. Very powerful medicine, and exactly what we need. Now, getting out of your comfort zone and standing in your own authenticity, coming down from the head and moving into the heart, and helping people through this. And all you have to do is stand in your energy, and you're already helping people. And again, it's really important that everybody gets to stand in their own fear and just let it out. That's kind of what's going on right now. And it's sort of, it seems chaotic, but it's also this really beautiful paradigm that's coming up too. But we can choose how much fear we let in. But just seeing it, it's sort of overwhelmingly beautiful that all of this is bubbled up and we can see how much fear was in the world. It's just crazy. I mean, we kind of knew. We kind of knew. We knew that we were living in disharmony. I mean, Mother Nature gave us a timeout, right? That we're done with this. Couldn't go on the way that we were going. But we get to see how much fear was out there now. How much fear and how it integrates into everybody's psyche. So this is a time for you. You're like a fear master in a way. So think things through. Yes, Ace of Cups. Okay, so thinking things through. Talk on this channel a lot about the practical mind. I love practicality. I have Taurus moon, so you know I'm all about the practical. But it only goes so far. The way in which you work now with this beautiful Ace of Cups of really understanding your emotionality and how that works with your heart center, your heart chakra, blending that with your intuition, and it takes you out of your head and moves you forward. You were immobile before a lot of the times of moving forward and taking action because you didn't know if it was the right action because you talked yourself out of it. Very, very heady. But at the same time, you're also extremely emotional, deep emotions, very highly sensitive, like highly sensitive. I think there's only like 10% of people who are as highly sensitive as you are. Empaths are sensitive, certainly. But you know, you're one step further in that. So really delving into those emotions, really understanding that from the inside out, the fabric of who you are, brought you this intense power. And you did this again in this absolutely ludicrous way, which takes an incredible amount of courage. And this courage has come from many, many past lifetimes too, because this is not your first rodeo. You're a very, very, very old soul. So being able to like go into this darkness and really understand what it is. I mean, if you wrote a paragraph about evil and what it is, it would be so different and will blow so many people's minds. I mean, if you feel like doing it, you know, try it out. See what comes up for you. You've got temperance, seeking the hidden treasure. Everything you've done has taken a while. You've done things a little bit the opposite of other people, and you've done things differently. And for you, you know, you have that type of personality that's really funny and really beautiful. It's almost like, you know, when you're eating, most people eat what they love first and then they leave what they don't like. You would leave, you know, you would eat all the other things first. Like, all right, let's do this. And then you would save that one thing, right? So you're used to patience and things happening slower. And the process in which you took, where you really understood fear and you went and you delved deep, it's again sort of against the sort of grain of how most people heal. And the way in which you've done it, you sort of made friends with fear, which is kind of a beautiful thing. In fact, you could even write a book saying making friends with fear. I mean, I don't even know if that exists. You could look it up on Amazon. If not, that's your title, Part 3. And you would have a brilliant way of being able to do this. And it's pure acceptance. Now, you did this work without fully accepting yourself either, because while you were delving deep, you were finding those deep, dark, hidden treasures. So it's extra points for you for doing that and having that temperance and having that patience of going through and doing that, because, you know, you sort of dived really deep into this without sort of having backup in a way. So this is something that you do. This is something that you can do in this lifetime. Bring this knowledge forward. But this is a real accomplishment for you because you're standing in your authenticity and your sovereignty in this way. And you're going to stand out. Yeah, again, darkness, the moon. Coming out of your comfort zone, bringing this knowledge to the forefront. And again, all you have to do is stand there and people will understand that there's something mysterious and a little bit strange about you. And some people may actually have thought in the past that you were strange or quote unquote evil. That's because you've carried the essence of evil with you, or darkness of you with you, but it didn't infuse your life in that way. People sort of got it mixed up, but you carried the element with you. You carried the darkness with you, not in a way where it affected you as it affected other people, but you were working with it. So of course you were part of the darkness, but people misunderstood that. They misread it, and they didn't understand it. And because they were so fearful, they didn't want to go further into finding out. They were just ready to project upon you. So you may have been at the mercy of other people's projections a good portion of your life, because, and we're seeing this a lot too, a lot of people are projecting out instead of going within. So it's, and a lot of people are going within and figuring out too. And this is just where you are at. You're always within. And now it's about the outer. So all of these mysteries that you have, all of this beautiful stuff that you have, Hecate, however you see her, or however you say her name, she's definitely a goddess that you could be working with, or that you have worked with the crossroads and the darkness. Persephone too, very, very powerful goddesses for you. Even Freya, she's a really interesting goddess. Fertility and beauty and gorgeousness, but also she carries entities and beautiful souls to carries them over into death. So these are goddesses that you can work with, and you probably have worked with or have been drawn to in some ways, because you have an incredibly powerful energy to integrate, and this energy is really needed right now. And this the way in which you articulate yourself is really needed. The way in which you stand in your authenticity, to say, yeah, I've done this work, and you know what, I came out okay. And not only that, I have this incredible wisdom, and I know who I am, and I'm really authentic, and and there's a way to work with fear without letting it in and letting it rule you. So this is an incredible time for you, stepping out of your comfort zone. Yeah, you've got the Knight of Cups coming in with the darkness too. Again, moving forward in a new direction, but heightened. It's almost like the spontaneous energy. I'm ready to do this now. And you kind of know the direction that you're moving in, but the magic that you have is all of this energy coming together, all of this beauty coming together with the sovereignty and this beautiful magical element that you have. And people have always been sort of fascinated with your energy in one way or another, because they can't figure out who you are. And that's why you get projected upon a lot, because you frighten people. When frightened people, they want to put you in a box, and the easiest way to do that is to say you're this, and to say, all right, and then they sign you off. That's it, you're that, I'm great, I can move on with my life, I don't need to be afraid of you anymore. But that was never true. Whatever they projected upon you wasn't true. It was just for them to feel better about themselves, because your energy really highlighted something in themselves that was that wasn't looked at, that was unhealed. So, and this is something that you still may be doing, and you still may be triggering people, because there are people who are unhealed going on right now, who are doing their best. There's again a lot of fear out there, but it's a beautiful essence. This is almost your time. It's not almost, it really is. It's like this is what you've been waiting for. I mean, there's so much fear out there. You're like a fear alchemist. You're like a fear magician, and moving forward, but having all the tools to know the difference and how to work with it and acclimate through it, how to make friends through it, with it, and move through it, and not let it rule your life, and not let it impede any of what you do, your life, your actions, decisions, whatever it is. So this is something that you can do. I mean, you could actually be a fear counselor, which sounds a little bit strange. Does that exist? Probably not. But you're not here to do what's already happened. You're here to do and set up new precedences for yourself. So your magic is about stepping forward into this new role of what it is that you want to do, and integrating it any way that you want. Again, all you need to do is stand in your own energy, and this will move forward in the way that it needs to. You don't have to have a firm plan for you. In fact, for some of you, it's better not to have a firm plan, just to stand in your own energy, and accept all aspects of yourself in your authenticity, with the darkness shining, if that makes any sense. Now, this could be a little bit outside of your comfort zone, because you've been projected upon. People have even said that you were evil at certain times, or they've given you a wide berth, and that's been painful. But, you know, it doesn't matter anymore, because you've gone from the head space, chattering head, to the heart space. You know who you are. That authenticity has been working with you as you've worked in that deep-seated emotion, and letting that emotion work for you and not against you, not heightening everything and making, you know, even walking down the street difficult for you at times. So now you can work with your emotions, and you work with it beautifully. You can teach others how to do that. So you can stand in your authenticity and know that, you know, the universe notices and recognizes the energy and will move you forward naturally. Now, that in itself is action. Now, as we do the law of attraction, well, obviously there needs to be divine action. We can't just sit on our butts and expect everything to happen. But, you know, for you standing in your authenticity, for you standing in who you are, that really is action for you. That really is enough. If you have other action going on, do it, absolutely. But for you, the smallest amount that you do, just standing outside of your comfort zone and really claiming who you are, that will take you to the next level. So that's your magic, and it's a beautiful magic to offer the world, especially at this time. You're the original alchemist, really understanding that. Absolutely beautiful. Coming back to this sense of sovereignty. And really coming back to this understanding that no matter who we are, what we choose, or what's going on in the world, we're absolutely protected. And you, out of anyone, I would say, really, really understand that we choose our own realities. You understand that implicitly, how that works. Like, you could break it down and again write a book on it, how we choose our own reality. We believe in something, we make it true. We see it everywhere. Everywhere we see it, it's, you know, more of the same energy to infuse, to keep us. Yeah, you absolutely understand that. So, and you've worked in that paradigm too, where you've been very focused on one thing that you believe, and then you've given it up, and then you've come back to this, that, and the other. You understand how the mind works and how it can be really subjective when fear is involved. So, happy love, a joyful, stable partnership, and good friends. This is you moving into, again, stepping into your authenticity, whoever you are. And again, we've talked a lot about the darkness, but you have that light, you have that mystery, you have that beauty. You've served the darkness, you understand the darkness, so you're full of light. You're just not bound by it anymore because you've done all of this work. So you're coming into this really beautiful love energy that's in and around you, acclimating into new circumstances, new love coming in, but definitely new sense of community stepping in and really feeling integrated into the world in a way that you didn't before. So again, standing for love, but really understanding the darkness too, which just brings absolute wondrous gifts as you move forward. So let's pull one more for you, just feeling the pull to move. Give you one more of these. Oh, you've got the elements too. The element of fire, air. I think this was pile 2, sorry. Earth and water combined to create powerful protective boundaries, spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. As we said, you cannot go wrong. Just standing in your energy is the action that you need. You are protected. You've done everything. You've relinquished, or you've integrated this understanding of fear. Now, that's not to say that you'll never be fearful again, but you can work through it and help people work through it too. You're not bound by fear anymore, which is absolutely beautiful, which means that you can move in to the understanding of love and live your life in a completely different way. That is your magic. That is your magic, bringing yourself into the world again, really understanding how to use your beautiful gifts of alchemy and deep empathic skills, knowing what people are thinking, feeling the energy of others, like not being overwhelmed by it, but being able to help them. So this is an incredible timing for you to stand in your authenticity and honestly just be able to go in several different directions depending on which way you're looking and where you want to go. The world is your oyster, as they say. All right, beautiful pile 3, that's what we have for you. We are sending you support for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. Please stay safe and sane. And as we say, not too safe. Please stay physically and mentally safe, of course, but outside of your box here. Step outside of your comfort zone. We want you and need you out in the world because you are absolutely gorgeous and this is your time. All right, pile 3, until we meet again. Bye-bye.